Next up, the Coinkite MK4. Now, this is a classic device. It's been around for a number of years. Very much beloved device. Nice and small form factor here. And it's the result of many, many years of research and development. And for a long time, it was their Coinkite's flagship device. So Coinkite is the manufacturer, and Coinkite is the product line. And this is the MK4. As you can imagine, there was the MK1, MK2, MK3, MK4. And as soon as you take a look at the device, you notice a few security features right off the bat. The first one is that it's transparent. So you can see through into the device to try and see and compare the schematics available online to what you've actually received. And so, in an effort to sort of say, this isn't a black box, you can see what's inside. They've made the whole device sort of translucent, transparent here. And you can see all of the different boards here. You can see there's a screen, keyboard set here. There's the secure elements right there. And I'm not sure if you can see that, but there's actually a thing right there that says, shoot these. So if you want to destroy this device, that's where your Bitcoin's being stored right there. So it's indicating that this is where the Bitcoin is. On the back, you can see a bunch of different chips and the SD card reader here, as well as the power supply, the USB-C power supply. So it's nice and modern, USB-C. This is a flagship device, great price point as well. And let's power it on. Let's have some fun here. So let's pass me a USB-C. Let's give it some juice. So it powers right on. It's got two indicators. One's red and one's green. Okay, and so you saw the red one come on, it verified the software, and then now we're in green mode. Now, green mode means it thinks everything's good. It believes that the software it's running has been signed by Coinkite, and everything seems like it's going to be good. So the first thing you have to do is just good old I agree. Everything you got to agree. So you're agreeing to the terms of service. You can get all the terms of service up there, and we're just going to click OK to agree. Now, the next thing that happens is it's going to say your new cold card should have arrived in a sealed bag with the above number. Please take a moment to confirm the number and look for any signs of tampering. And so inside the bag is this bag number here. And we're just going to confirm that the number on the screen, 15694038673. And right before they turn it off and they ship it to you, they program in this bag number. So again, by using this product, you agree to our terms of service, you can read the full document, make sure you do that. Confirm the bag number. And so you're going to confirm the bag number here. Now you want to make sure that this number matches this number, because at the factory, before they ship it to you, the first thing they do is they enter this bag number on it, on the same bag, they put it in the bag and they seal the bag. And so you want to inspect the bag for any signs of tampering to make sure that no customs agent or anybody in between, no CIA operative, has altered the bag. Now, it's not a perfect system, obviously, but it helps to establish that it hasn't been opened yet or tampered. So the bag number matches, so that's good. We're going to click OK. Now, the first thing it's going to ask me to do is to choose a device PIN code, so we're going to do that. This will be the device's main PIN, and it should be clever, okay? Now, one thing to note about Coinkite products is there is no forgot PIN. So if you forget the PIN, you have to throw the device out and get a new one. Okay, there's no way to reset the PIN or override the PIN or factory reset or anything like that. You can change the PIN, you can wipe the 12-word seed, you can do all of those things, but there's no way to ever get back to the bag number check page again, right? What we're experiencing right now, where we verify the bag number and set the PIN, can never be done again on this device. So you want to set a PIN that you're going to remember, and if you want, you can write it down on here. That's what we'll do. The PIN has two parts, okay? It has the prefix and the suffix. And the reason is super, super advanced. And I'll tell you in just 1 second here. So it's saying, the prefix part, there is absolutely no way to reset the PIN or factory reset the cold card if you forget the PIN, okay? So do not forget the PIN code. Press 6 to prove that you've read this message. And it does this. See, pressing OK doesn't do anything. You have to press 6 to acknowledge. So now let's do our PIN code prefix. So we're going to keep it nice and simple here. And we're going to do a PIN code prefix of 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you can change the PIN. You just can't forget to PIN. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we'll click next. Now what it's going to do is give you what are called your anti-phishing code words. Now what this is protecting against is if somebody swaps out your cold cards with a device that looks like a cold card, but actually has a wireless transmitter in it, and you pick it up, type in your PIN, and click OK, and that gets transmitted to the attacker who has the real cold card, enters the PIN, and accesses your Bitcoin, okay? So what this does is you enter the first half of your PIN, and then it multiplies the first half of your PIN by the serial number of the device and gives you these random 2 words. And so an attacker would need to know these 2 random words for their faux device, okay? It's pretty impressive. So we're going to go fringe bullets. Okay? And so they would have to know the first half of your PIN to then get the 2 words to simulate, but they're not going to know the first half of your PIN, so they can't simulate the 2 words. Very cool. Now we're going to enter the rest of the PIN here, and we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to click OK. Now we're going to do it one more time to just double check, because this is it if we forget it. 1, 2, 3. And this is a terrible pin, by the way. No one should ever use this pin, okay? I'm literally just using it for the demo. Fringe bullet, yes, I recognize those. And I'm going to continue with the rest of the pin. Now it's writing that information to the secure element. Good to go. Now we're going to set up our first wallet on the cold cards, okay? And we're going to go new seed word. Now again, if I was restoring an existing, an old cold card that got damaged or something like that, I could import, I could log in, or I can go new seed words. We'll hit new, and we can do 12-word, 24-word, 24-word dice roll, or 12-word dice roll, right? And again, I like the dice rolls, but for simplicity's sake for this demo, I'm just going to do a 12-word. Keep it nice and easy. It's going to randomly pick 12 words. We hope it's truly random. And again, if you don't trust the device, use dice. So the first words are climb. I'll just take a second here to write these down. Yep. Okay, so now I've written my words down. And remember, the words are all I need. If I use another device, it'll be a different device pin and a different anti-phishing word. The only thing that matters is the seed words, right? The anti-phishing word and the device pins are specific to this device. So I don't need, it's nice to have them written down so it's easy for me to access, but actually I don't need that if I'm ever recovering. You can use, you will have new anti-phishing words, and you can or cannot use the same pin. So now it's going to do the test. And it's saying word number 8 is almost. Word number 1 is climb. Word number 12 is laundry. Word number 2 is dirt. Word number 5 is vibrant. Word number 4 is trash. Word number 3 is action. Word number 6 is night. Word number 9 is style. Word number 10 is alarm. Word number 7 is weekend. Word number 11 is social. And so it's really important, again, to do this. We want to make sure we wrote them down in the right order. Our minds can flip words on us and play tricks. So now we know we have it written down in the right order because we wrote it down here and then we reconfirmed it back end. Now, one of the options is NFC/tap. So if you're instead of using your desktop wallet, you can use a mobile wallet. And you can, instead of using the barcodes, the fully air-gapped, you can use NFC. I'm not a big fan of it. I find it also depends on the device you're using. A lot of the devices have weak NFC chips, and so they don't always work perfectly. I'm not a big fan of the NFC. So what I'm going to do is say no, I don't want. And you can turn it on and off. It's not a hard-coded feature. I'm going to hit the X. Disable the USB port. Yes, I'm going to disable the USB port. I'm going to hit yes. And again, there's yeses and nos here. Okay, so now the device is ready to sign. We've initiated our 12 words. We've verified the bag and everything. We've set a pin on the device, and we're ready to go. And so the next thing we need to do is, remember, you've got your 12-word seed, makes your XPub, makes your set of addresses. We now need to export our XPub from the device onto our computer so that our computer can handle the internet component of this thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down here, and we're going to go to Address Explorer. And there's a bunch of different, remember, your 12-word seed derives sets of addresses. So it can actually, depending on the derivation path, and we looked at that with the seed center, you had your M/84. there's different derivation paths for different Bitcoin standards. And so this is saying, you know, if you want to use the classic derivation path, the P2SH derivation path, or the SegWit derivation path, and you can see that the address types are different. So if you want, you can use your cold card with Bitcoin addresses that start with the number 1, Bitcoin addresses that start with a 3, or the latest ones, the BC1Q Bitcoin addresses, okay, that are supported by the MK4. So we'll go into here. Want to use the latest ones, latest and greatest. And the options are press 1 to save the address summary file to the card, or press 2 to view the QR code. So I'm going to go QR codes because I like QR codes. Okay. Ah, here it is, export wallet. Okay. So now we're ready to sign. Now we're ready to sign. And so we'll scroll down here to tools, and we'll go to export wallet, okay? Because we want to export the XPub. And we'll go to Sparrow wallet, because that's the wallet we want to use. And this is going to save a JSON file to our memory card. File created. Yep, should not be shared. Exactly. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab our SD card. And so with the Cold Card MK4, it doesn't have a camera. It's the big limitation of the Cold Card MK4, which means that you need to communicate back and forth with the internet-connected device, either using SD cards, NFC, or USB data. And so the favorite is the SD card. So I'm going to pop an SD card in here. Kind of clicks in. Click OK. It's generating our XPub for Sparrow. So the first thing we need to do with the MK4 is download the Sparrow wallet. And so we're going to go onto our computer, download Sparrow wallet, and get that set up so that we can set up our cold card. Okay, and it's written in. So now we're going to open this up. And we're now going to pop this memory card into... There we go. Yeah, we're now going to pop this into the reader, and pop the reader into the laptop. Oh. Now we got a couple other files on this USB key, but that's okay. We'll wipe it in a second here. So here's the Sparrow export file. It's Sparrow export.json. Okay, and so that's the file now that was added to this drive that we now need to add to our Sparrow. So I'm going to go into Sparrow, and we're going to close our seed signer wallet from earlier, and we're going to hit import wallet. And on the cold card, we're going to do cold card standard, not multi-sig, and we're going to hit import file. And we're going to go on to our drive here. And here it was, Sparrow export.json. And we're going to do our native SegWit addresses. And we're going to hit import. And we're going to call this our cold card MK4. And again, this is password protecting the XPub that's going to be on this computer. I'm going to leave it blank, but you should set something so you know. Now what it's doing is deriving all the possible Bitcoin addresses. Now the first thing we want to do is make sure we did this correctly. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to click addresses. Now these are the addresses that are being derived from the XPub. So on our cold card here, we can go backwards and we can go to the address explorer and we can go to the SegWit addresses, the ones that start with BC1. And it will now show us all of our Bitcoin addresses. And I'm going to scroll down here. And so the first address that is derived from here is BC1QLZX. BC1QLCX. And so now we know that and so what that means is that the addresses that are being derived from the 12-word seed is one set of addresses on here. And we know that the Sparrow is using the exact same address set. So without them actually talking to each other, they're tracking the same wallet. And so that's super important. So once we're comfortable that they're tracking the same wallet, we know we're good to go. And that from that point forward, you're set. With the MK4, because there's no camera, you'll have to create a transaction on your computer, save it on one of the options. When you create the transaction is to save it, instead of opening up it as a QR code, is to save it to memory card. So you'll save it onto the memory card. You'll bring the memory card back to the MK4. And if you go back here, if you go ready to sign, your cold card is ready to start signing. Put the proposed transaction on a micro SD card and insert it into the device. You'll always be prompted to confirm the details before any signature is performed. And so there's no memory card in here right now, but it will scan and find it, and you can sign it, okay?